But I think we are ready. So if people come later, we will have everything recorded. So they are not going to miss anything. Well, if you don't know me, I'm Karina D'Emilio, and I'm in Buenos Aires, Argentina right now. And I'm in charge of the public relations and communications in Wordfast. Following with our series of short and free webinars, today we have a Keeping Up to Date with Wordfast Classic with Yves Champollion that you are seeing now. You may know that he is our CEO and the founder of Wordfast, of course. He doesn't need too much introduction, I think. And well, if you think that you have to go, you cannot finish this session, no worries. Everything is going to be recorded and then it will be posted in our YouTube channel. So no worries. We hope you enjoy this webinar. We'll have some time for questions at the end, so please feel free to type them in the chat, or I will enable your mic and you can ask the question directly to Yves. So this is all. We can start. Yves, the floor is yours.
Well, welcome everyone to this keeping up to date or what's new in Wordfast Classic. Yeah, Wordfast Classic has remained stable in the last 4 or 5 years with not any striking new features, but in fact, a lot of things are happening. You see, when you have a translation tool like Wordfast Classic, you have to keep it going, and a lot of things have to be done because of a simple word, progress. There is progress. First of all, translators are progressing compared to the 90s or the 2000s. The average translator has learned a lot, sometimes a difficult way, by trial and error, using translation tools and getting frustrated and understanding the techniques. There has been progress with our clients. Our clients have really evolved from the old times where they would send us copies, I mean hard copies of text, and now they send us digital or electronic document, and they expect us to be a technician to return a document that is translated but looks like the original, and it's hard work. So clients have evolved, and some clients have understood what translation memory is, and some of the clients come to you and say, well, are you going to charge me for repetitions or things that you have in your translation memory from my past jobs, and so on. So everything is evolving all the time, and a translation tool cannot stay still. One other thing that is evolving is the computer that we have in our hands. They are faster. They have many features. Those people who use Windows or Apple now have what Microsoft calls Copilot, or Apple has a different name for that, like a sort of artificial intelligence assistant. And those also have been integrated in Microsoft Word. And Word itself, which is the what is under Wordfast Classic, Word itself has evolved quite a lot. If you compare Word with what it was like 10 years ago, dictation is much better. And I know that translators are cautious about going dictation, but every year I'm trying to refine the dictation formula inside Word, and at the end I will attempt a demonstration of that. It has translation integrated. Now people can right-click a document and have it translated in one go. If you have a Microsoft subscription, that should work, for what it works, of course. And finally, then you have AI, which is making its entrance in Microsoft Word. Like yesterday, I was typing, not translating, but just typing things, and Word kept suggesting me, in light gray, the next 3 or 4 words that were supposed to come next, and God, that was accurate, really, really sharp. So it's, to some extent, it's a scary thing, because it's like the guys, Microsoft or Apple, are reading my mind, or maybe they know what I usually type everywhere in my emails or on Word, and they know what I'm going to type next. So it's good, but on the other hand, it could be seen as a scary thing. So I'm going to let me see. I'm going to quickly jump to um, things that most of you already know. I'm not going to go over that, because the concept here is what's new. So I have a very old sample document that I have used for 25 years, and I'm going to start up my Wordfast Classic toolbar, which is at the top. I can have it docked. Usually it's docked by, here on the top right of the screen, but you can have it float as I do now, because if you have multiple screens, maybe it's better. If you open the main setup window, which hasn't changed for 26 years almost. There's machine translation has been added, but basically the rest is pretty much the same. Uh, Translation memory is basically what it has always been. There is not much changes in that. There's why. The background TM is still there. It's a read-only secondary TM, and the idea, maybe all of you know, is that the live translation memory is going to record whatever you do. So there's some kind of a dirt inside a TM. But if you have a golden TM that is really clean and you like very much, you put it as a secondary TM, and it's a read-only TM. You will only get extracts or matches from it, but you're not going to write into it. And then there's a remote TM. I'll pass quickly, because it's very rare that people use a server-based TM, but it's still there. Attributes and penalties. And TM rules have been separated. They used to be in the same pane, and it was a little bit confusing. So now it's pretty clear. You have the attributes and the penalties are clearly laid out here. And the rules, there are only 4 rules, and the threshold is here. So machine translation has received a lot of attention recently. You can turn it off or on wholesale here, and then you have a rich choice of MT providers: DeepL, Google, Yandex, Microsoft Translator, My Memory, I don't know why, Modern MT, Amazon, and WordLingo, which is still a partner of Wordfast and gives its machine translation services for free, although maybe they're not as perfect or as good as the big DeepL, Google, and Microsoft. But if you have never done MT and you want to know what it's like, well, it's a good place to start, because you don't have to buy a subscription, you don't have to register, and so on. Terminology has not changed significantly over the last 10 years. It's still glossary based. You still have the 3 glossaries if you want. The block list, concordance has moved here outside of the so-called Pandora's box, so you can fine-tune concordance. Reference is not used, I mean, just by a very few, you know, and find replace. So if I go to setup, this has not changed. This has not changed. QA has received a couple more options. View has changed pretty much. You see, an issue with everyone, especially beginners and non-beginners, is that sometimes, as you see I am doing here, the cursor is now inside the target text, but if the cursor escapes the target text and is, for example, here, and I start to type, then it's going to be a mess. So there is now a feature, I'm going to get back to it, in setup view, setup here and view here, which is turned on by default. It actually jails the cursor inside of the target segment so that it cannot go and escape in the wrong place. Especially, you see the segment on the back on big blue superflex has the delimiters. You see these little purple marks, and if the cursor is there and you type there, and then you destroy your segment. I would say this is the big drawback of Wordfast Classic, or because you can easily mess up a segment. And when it's done, and if you are not technically minded, it's really a pain to fix. So the idea of having the cursor jailed inside of the target segment, it's a bit like if you work in Wordfast Pro or all those tools, you know, Trados and MemoQ. The cursor is in the target text and it cannot escape. It cannot go and type in the wrong place. But for experts who know their way around and who have a second nature, where they know that the cursor has to be inside the target text, like here, okay, and should not escape and should not go to any other place, you know, well, you can uncheck that option, which means you actually jailbreak the cursor. So if you are on Wordfast Classic now and here, then I hope you understand the purpose of that option. Okay, it's on by default if you install Wordfast Classic, and it locks your cursor in the target segment. But you can undo that, and then you are like in the old Wordfast Classic. You can put your cursor wherever you want, but you know what you're doing. There's a minimalist segment, and that's important because you see you can use Wordfast Classic at home on your big screen like I'm doing now. I have a small screen here where I look at you. It's my laptop, but I have that huge screen that on the side, and I think I would say 90% of translators, professionals have, I mean, they hook their laptop to a large screen, a wide screen, or even two, you know. So if you have a big screen, it's okay. You have the real estate. The segment can be big. It could have a lot of information on top, which is the translation memory matches. It could have a lot of information at the bottom. Okay, but if you opt for the minimalist segment, as I am doing now, and I open a segment like this one here, you will see that, okay, you have the source segment with a blue, light blue backdrop, and then the unknown target segment and underneath, and that's it. You don't have anything at the top, anything under. And of course, you have here we have the proposed translation by DeepL, and the next one is the proposed translation by Google Translate. Okay, let's. There are differences between the two. I leave it up to the experts in French to say which one is the better. La chaudière les grandes centrales. Okay, the DeepL is good. La chaudière à double four. Yeah, DeepL is better because technically it belongs to the power plant expertise, and in a power plant, the boiler is actually a foyer. That's the way it is. I checked with the experts. So DeepL has given the exact best translation. La chaudière Superflex à double foyer est conçue pour les grandes centrales électriques et met en œuvre un recycleur de chaleur en circuit fermé. Yeah, okay. That demonstrates that DeepL, is a notch above Google Translate. I hope they are not. I mean, I hope that Google is not listening to what I'm saying. Well, they probably are. Now you have to note that DeepL is more expensive. It's like we were doing a thing on translation tools last year, and we were talking about how much it costs. Very important. If you maintain a DeepL subscription every month, every year for three years, where at the end of the day, or at the end of the 3 years, DeepL is in itself more expensive than the translation tool. It's like it comes up to about, I don't know, 140 a year or more. But it's worth it, as it is demonstrated here. Okay, so that's the minimalist segment against the full-blown segments where you have a lot of information. So I undo the minimalist thing. I do it again. I open it, and you see. So that's the complete segment, and yeah, you have the translation memory above. Sometimes you have text in between the blue and the green box. You have a white line, which is not in the minimalist, with some kind of information, which is mostly meant for beginners. Okay, so that's the minimalist versus the full view. So the full view is nice. If you really want to know where the translation memory is from, what date it was, what attributes it has, who did it, and so on. I don't pay much attention to those things, but some people do. What I want is a good translation, and that's it. So I usually go for the setup view minimalist. And the other reason to use the minimalist is you are on the go, and all you have is a laptop. And God knows it's a small screen, especially with age. So the minimalist is nice because you can still have plenty of context before and after around your segment. Toolbar notification. So the other options were there a long time ago. Fields and hyperlinks results. Okay, that's for geeks. I don't recommend to check that. Wrap text to window is on by default. I think you understand this. It's on here. So if I narrow my window, the text wraps, see, to the right side here. as opposed to a behavior which is very bad in translation, where you squeeze, you shrink your window, and the text actually disappears on the right side, and then you only see part of it. So that's why it's highly recommended to set up view and to wrap text to window, so that even if you zoom your text, as I would do here, it will still wrap, wrap whatever size you have in your Word window. I wrote an article, and I'm going to maybe very briefly show it. It's if you go to Wordfast, the manual, wordfast.net, and just go to the manual for Wordfast, and I can draw your attention to an appendix, which is here at the bottom. Tip for eye care and comfort. And I'm not going to go over that, but if you want to read that, it also uses Wordfast Classic as an example of how to properly set your settings, so that when you reach the age of 75, 80, or 85, your eyesight is still good. And here I show this is bad on the top because the line disappears to the right. If you see this in Classic, take the time, take the 5 minutes to understand how Word handles line wrap or that does not, and make sure that a whole segment is always visible at one time, so you don't have to scroll. It's not just bad for the eye, it's just bad for the productivity. So that's the manual for Wordfast Classic, which you find at wordfast.net. And let me see, I show you how to get to it. Wordfast.net, and then from there it's pretty obvious. You go to products, Wordfast Classic, okay, and the manual should be here. Not sure. No, you go to the download page, okay, and then the manual is going to be here. Yeah, Wordfast Classic manual version 9. So you have to dig a little bit, and then you have a wealth of information there. There is one thing I wanted to mention. It's an old battle if you were translating in the year 2000s and even 2010s. You remember that many translators send you a PDF. So I wrote an article on the question. It's the article that I've shown. Can you translate PDF with Microsoft Word in 2025? And for the last 3 or 4 years, the answer is an absolute yes. Microsoft has done a huge job to equip Microsoft Word with a very good PDF filter. So if you open a PDF, like there's one here, okay, then it's going to say that, okay, Word will now convert your PDF to an editable Word document, and it's here. So that's what Word shows, okay. And what the original PDF is, I'm going to show here. This is a PDF view. And okay, translating PDF used to be a pain in wherever you think, and it's not the case anymore. There are 2 points we have to make. The first one is there's no cat tool on the earth that lets you translate from inside a PDF and then save and get a PDF to deliver to the client. That does not exist. So all translation tools convert to an editable format. It can be XLIF for most tools, but can be Word, and then from Word it goes to XLIF, and then XLIF back to Word, and then back to PDF. But you have to let your client know, okay, I can translate your PDF, but I'm going to deliver to you a Word file, and then it's up to you to take a final look and then save it as PDF. Now, of course, you can say, okay, I can deliver a PDF, but after translation, if you save as PDF, then you, the translator, is responsible for anything that looks different from the original, because in many cases, translation is longer than the original text. And so things are going to be a little bit different. So I advise you to translate the PDF and deliver a Word file, and tell you to your client, have a look at it, and if you are happy, save as PDF. I'm asking the moderator to stop me like 10 to 15 minutes before the end of the time. Yeah, PDF is here.
Okay.
Good. And see, the issue with old PDF converters, and I'm sure most of you who are listening know that, is that they would produce a Word file, if you remember that in many cases was really strange, because they put a lot of backgrounds, tables here and there, and then when you translated that with Wordfast Classic, it was messy. The filter that is in Microsoft Word is very nice. It's clean, Voilà, it's nice. So what else do we have? Do we have anything new in Wordfast Classic 2025? Well, a lot of bugs have been fixed. A lot of enhancements have been made. I'm going okay. Like, okay, I take this one. Okay, now this one. I take this one here. It's much faster if I type Z. Boom, I have the two options. I push enter. So the ease of use is much better, because first, computers are faster, Word is faster, and Wordfast Classic is faster. So like I showed you, when you have placeables here, they're instant. There's no reaction time, So you could also dictate this. I'm going to do a demonstration of dictation. I'll pray the gods of technology that it works. Okay. So dictation is new. It's not very old. What is it? Well, you see, when you dictate for translation, it looks nice when there's a demonstration, and then you get back home, and then you have a segment like this one. So if you dictate, it's going to be okay. Ce processus a été découvert par. Until now it's okay, and then try to dictate a Polish name to a machine whose setup is for French. It's not going to work. Try to spell out every letter. It's going to be a frustration. So that's why most translators don't do dictation, because yeah, it's nice, but how do I dictate things like A, B, C engineering? Because it's a proper name, so the English name should be there. And if you dictate engineering, then the French machine will get something completely different, you know, and so on. So here's the part where Wordfast Classic gets involved. Is that okay? Here I have a default setup for English to French, but you can have it for any language that you like. And I'm going to show you how it works. But then first I have to tell Microsoft Windows that I want to dictate. So voice access preview. I should have a, okay. So you see, I don't know if you see on top of my screen, I have a microphone. So you can use Word's own dictation. It has a microphone also. But I use the one which is inside of Windows. And I'm going to open a segment. And now I'm going dictation. So let's try. Ce processus a été découvert par stop 2. Ah, see, I have maybe it's not on. It's not on. Prompt stop. Cardinal. Okay, so the machine should here open for me the. Let me try again. Ce processus a été découvert par stop 2. Stop 2. Ah ouais, yeah. Oh là là. Okay, I have to practice that a little bit more. Il y a un an. Okay. La première centrale a été vendue à une entreprise publique en Suisse en 1969, non. La première centrale a été vendue à une entreprise publique suisse en 1969 et remplacée par un système refroidi par eau en 2005. So, as you can see, it's not perfect here. Not perfect, which is why many translators are reluctant to switch to dictation. And so my takeaway about dictation is as follows. If your document is a technical one, like the one I have here, then it doesn't lend itself to dictation well. You know, I could take a more a document that is easier to translate, and if you have those, then uh, la Bretagne est synonyme de traduction. La Bretagne est synonyme de tradition, virgule, spécialement en histoire, virgule, en gastronomie et en religion. Alors que la musique et les festivals maintiennent l'influence celtique et ses traditions, virgule, la période néolithique a laissé un héritage de pierres levées, virgule, connues tout autour du monde. De nombreuses villes fortifiées, virgule, des châteaux, virgule, des églises, virgule, des cathédrales et des musées sont présents dans la mémoire collective de la Bretagne et font partie de son héritage culturel et architectural. Point. La gastronomie en Bretagne. La Bretagne est connue comme étant le pays du cidre, avec le fameux cidre de Cornouailles, virgule, le cidre Loïc Raison, virgule, le cidre Mélénigue, virgule, le cidre Kérissac ou le cidre Kinkiz. So I'll stop here. We have what have we achieved? That's a good question. My view, if you have a general purpose document which is not a technical one, which is not full of numbers, figures, strange names, and so on, and you dictate, what you do is that you dictate and you don't have to think about doing a perfect job at first time, because anyway, at one point we are going to proofread. And what I do is that I leave things behind, like here there was, see, Anne, it should be Bretagne. Okay. But it's not very long. It doesn't take long to fix things. Here you have this, okay, le cidre Loïc Raison. The time it takes to fix segments, you have to think, is it faster to type? And in any case, there will be a proofread stage with fixing things anyway, as compared to dictating and having to fix a few more things. Well, it's up to you to do things. There's one very interesting experiment I'm doing right now, which is I charge through my translation by dictating. I have the target text, and then I ask artificial intelligence to correct all the typos and all the things that are not consistent in my target text. And then I proofread. And then then it starts to be interesting, but really it's still an experiment. Um, so that's for dictation. In machine translation, there's an option which is called context empty. So that's a step that I took, which is not so much done by other CAT tools. And the idea is that you don't translate, if you machine translate, you don't submit one segment at a time to the MT, because then the distant MT doesn't have context, doesn't much, has not much context around it. So Wordfast Classic will submit the entire document to be translated. Then it gets it back. So it now has a translated file in the target segment. It takes the original file and is going to align those and create a TM. And that is pretty fast. I mean, it's for a document of 20 pages, it will take about under a minute. And then your TM has the machine translation inside, and then it's going to come every time you translate. So this opens two doors. One is that machine translation will be better because it has a rich context. It has the entire document, and the big three, you know, the DeepL, Google Translate, Microsoft Translator, the three of them have integrated AI into their translation systems, so that it's, and for AI, context is everything. So it has the context. The terminology will be a lot sharper. That's one thing. The second thing is that suppose you are on the move, on the train, you know, you are not at home. You can do this on a big document like 100 pages, and then you can go away for a week, and then you have no internet, but the machine translation is inside your box. It's in your TM, so that you can work without being connected to DeepL or so on, because it's been done in a batch mode at the beginning. That's the second thing, which is nice with what I call context empty. There's a little monitor empty, because some people ask me, Yves, are you sure that empty is better if we submit the whole document as opposed to one segment at a time? So what I do is this: if you context empty and then you run from your empty, you can still go and fetch each and every segment to the same empty, and if there is a difference, then Wordfast Classic is going to show it. It's going to say, oh, the same DeepL or the same Google Translate has given a different translation this time because you submitted only one segment, and bang, 19% of the time, the context, the whole document translation is much better. It's not a surprise. So what time is it now? 5:47. We almost reached the end.
Yeah, but we will be like some minutes more because we have like a certain problem with the audio at the beginning, so we can go ahead like 10 minutes more.
Aha.
if you want us, or we can start with questions, or as you wish.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a feature that crept into Wordfast Classic, but um, it was I'm sorry. I turned on this translate the whole doc first. That's why it's like this. Normally, if you okay, if you accept this segment here, maybe people who are not used to Wordfast Classic will not see what happened, but people who are used to Classic will see what happened. The superflex is bold and red in the source document. I accepted a machine translation, and presto, the superflex in the target segment has the red and bold. It's a feature that was added recently. So that feature, of course, works at this time mostly for things that are untranslatable, but it's on the way now to be done even for words that are not translated. So you would have like a bold word like here. Uh, and then if you do this and then you accept a machine translation match, then you would have it bold also here. Of course, and that saves time. That's the main point. So I'm playing with my mouse and my cursor. Right now, I am on the mode where the cursor is jailed to the target segment. So if I click, see if I click here, boom, the cursor goes back to the target segment. If I click here, boom, it goes back. If I even worse click there, it goes back to the target. So that's well, that's made mostly for beginners, but even people like me who translate once in a while, I mess up my segments because my cursor is here or there at the wrong place. So if you want to undo this, you go here and then you jailbreak your cursor and then you're back here. Okay. And now my cursor can be there and stay there. Okay. But if it's here, you see, in between the source and the target, and if it's here and I type here, I cannot see because it's too small, but if I type here, I break my segment and it's a big mess. But there is also comfort for people who break their segment. I'm going to show you. Okay, here I break it. Kaboom. If I want to open it, okay. If I open it and I want to commit, let me see. It says there's a problem with segment delimiters. If I press OK, so now there's a warning that the segment is bad. What did I do? There's a warning that the segment is bad and that you can fix it. But there's even better, which is suppose I close this file, close, save, of course. I get back to it. It's here. Ah, okay. Normally, it should have fixed the document on automatic. That happens most of the time, but I'm not sure if it's the case here, 75. Where did I break my segment? It should have been fixed here. If I move. Yeah, now that I move over the segments, they are all okay. When Wordfast Classic reopens a document, it does a quick check to make sure that segments are not broken. And when they are broken, there is an algorithm to fix them automatically. Because I found out that was one of the main reasons why people would leave Wordfast Classic. It's, having a mess of segmented file. But we can proceed to questions because I think
Okay.
most of people here have used
Yeah, yeah,
Wordfast
yeah, yeah.
for a long time, and maybe they have questions. That
Yes. If you can raise your hand and I will enable your mic. I also check in the questions box. Let me see, Martin, if I enable your mic. Martin, where is Martin? Luke, Martin, here. Enable mic. Now you can speak, Martin.
Great, thanks for that. Hello, Eve.
Hi.
I've discovered if I try to copy a suggested translation, like on your screenshot, we see what DeepL or Google Translate have offered. If I try to paste
Yeah.
those into my target segment, I get hidden non-breaking spaces between every word when that pastes in. It's not the same as a
Wow.
Control S. It doesn't. Nothing actually
Yeah.
reveals when you show hidden text, but that causes strange line breaks, and it also reduces the final word count because it treats the whole line as a single word. Is there a better way of importing that text, or is there some kind of fix that can be done there?
So you're doing something like this. Okay. Open a segment, and then you have the suggestions that are there's 1 and 2 here. Number 1
Yeah,
and number 2,
exactly. Yeah,
right? You press enter, and then you you have non-breaking spaces instead of spaces, right?
correct. Yeah.
Aha. Well, that should not be the case. And first time I see this, do you happen to take a good look here at terminology and FR? Do you make sure do you actually run a find replace list? I suppose no.
No, I don't. I probably
Well,
should
but
have once I worked out what the code is for that particular
yeah, no,
error.
no,
That
no.
would be
That's
an
the
idea.
point. Make sure you do not run any find replace list because those can mess up things.
Oh, okay.
It's very sensitive. So go there and make sure it's blank. I mean, there's no find replace list selected
Cool.
there.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Um, that's interesting. Does it happen if it's a translation memory that you select instead of machine translation?
I actually
Does
only
it do
use
the same?
translation memories. I don't have a machine translation set up, but it
Ah,
appears the same on screen.
it's your translation memory who is doing that. Sorry, I didn't get it. So that's really surprising.
which is which is weird because if it appears as a suggested translation in the target segment, then there is no problem.
Yeah.
It's only when it appears as a second or third option. I think, oh, hang on, I like the third option better than the first one, and try to paste that. That's when the problem comes.
And he copy and paste. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Make sure it's not a temporary bug. Is your version of Wordfast Classic recent, like
I'm
a few
using
months or
907, I think, at the moment. So I do need to update.
907? 907 should be okay. Or
Yeah.
it's more now. It's 913, but 907 is very recent. What you can do is send me your translation memory, have it zipped and send it to me. I can take a look, see if there's anything inside.
Yeah, I'll see if I can generate the error again. So I can see if I can send
Yeah,
it to you.
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for that.
Send me the TM, and if you know how to do a screenshot, send me a screenshot. And
Sure. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, let's go with Luke. Where is Luke here? Luke. Hi, Luke. You can speak now.
Hello, yes. Hi, Karina. I can speak now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for this presentation, and I'm happy that I can see Mr. Champollion after our meeting last year. But I'm just curious. So how different is the context machine translation from the adaptive machine translation, or in the context of MimicQ, what they call the adaptive generative translation, AGT?
well, it's pretty different. I think in MemoQ, if I understand, adaptive machine translation, right?
Yes, adaptive machine translation in general, but in the context of MemoQ, they have adaptive generative translation, AGT.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I suppose that they use your existing TMs and glossaries to perfect whatever MT suggests. This sort of action, like correcting the terminology or this sort of thing. They used to have it that for TM, which the name was to how do you say increase the when you have a fuzzy match. They try to increase it to make it better by reusing your existing TMs and glossaries also. I suppose they adapted that to MT, which makes sense, but it's not been done in Wordfast Classic. What I do is, rather than ping pong, every time you open a segment, it goes to MT and back, and it's just one sentence. What I do is that I feed the whole document at the beginning, get it back, and then the MT technology at the end, on the other side of the web, has the whole document as context. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luke. And Gabby, do you want to do your question direct to Eve? I will enable the mic. Where is Gabby? Gabby, I saw you here now. Here. Enable mic. Gabby, you can ask your question to Eve. Are you there? Because Gabby, okay, I enable your mic. It says, where I'm looking for your question. She's why it's no longer possible to combine the Wordfast Classic menu bar with the plus tool menu bar, and why does the new Wordfast Classic bar disappear for no apparent reason and have to be reactivated with Ctrl-Alt-W?
Okay, so I'll start with the last one. In fact, it's a request by many users who use Word sometimes to translate, but sometimes they use Word not to translate, just to type, and they don't want the bar to be there. and it's not just the bar, but the Wordfast shortcuts to be there. So if you start Word, yes, indeed, if you just start Word, the toolbar is not there. Okay, but that's by design. It's been made this way. So here now, if I do any of the many Wordfast shortcuts, they will not come in the way. So I have to call Wordfast Classic into action. That's Control Alt W for Wordfast, which I do now, and then the bar is going to come, and then you are in Wordfast mode. You have like something like more than 20 shortcuts that are active now. One thing is that if you want to do the opposite, just get back to Word without Wordfast. You and there's no segment. I mean, no here. Okay, there's no. I am not in a segment. Okay, and if I click this one and translation, it will tell me close Wordfast Classic. It will ask me, prompt me, and then it will say to restart Wordfast Classic, press Control Alt W, and then I say yes. And then now I have a word which has no Wordfast layer on top of it. So that's one thing. And yes, I agree with her or him. Yes, every time you start Word, you have to press Control Alt W to get the toolbar. Second question is why the toolbar is not integrated inside of the menus that are in Word. See, like it was, I would say, more than 10 years ago. The answer is that Microsoft doesn't like that. They consider it's a security issue if a third-party software changes the menus inside of Word. So it's possible, but then when you install Word, there will be a big red thing saying this is a virus and so on. So now the toolbar is an external object. Let me, okay, it's here. So now it's floating. If it's docked, well, you should have a view, toolbar, and then you take out the float. Okay. It's not a floating tool. So now it's docked to Word. So if Word moves, after 1 second or two, it should follow Word. Here, it should be docked around the top of the current window where you are.
Okay. Okay.
That's the only thing I can do. The size of the toolbar you can see under View Setup. You can have it's full now, but you can have a minimalist toolbar if you are used to Wordfast Classic, and you know, then you can set it to mini, which is three, and then it's going to be just that, you know.
Yes. We have more questions. Is that all? For well, Antonella Piazza, she has two questions here. I work on a Mac and rarely update macOS or Wordfast Classic, as they work well and updates might break compatibility. Is my concern valid? Obviously, I don't update macOS as soon as a new version comes out.
Good question. Okay. A few answers. The most recent versions of Microsoft Word for the Mac are okay with Wordfast Classic. So upgrading your Microsoft Word for Mac is okay, especially if it's a very old one. But if it's not so old, like if it's less than 3 years, you better stick with your existing Microsoft Word, because there are no noticeable changes in Word in the last 3 or 4 years. So it's only if you create a very complex document, which is not the case with translators. So no. In any case, if you have any issue with the most recent Microsoft Word, just write to me. I mean, write to the hotline.
Okay.
The installation in a Mac for the last 7-8 years is a manual installation. You have to drop a Wordfast dot in a folder which has a really strange name,
Yes.
but it's explained, you know.
I know. I have a Mac too. And okay, one more question from Antonella. Sometimes it seems that the concordance search doesn't search the memory I'm actually using. Why is that?
It's always kind of I always ask the question how old is your because there have been a lot of improvements recently. If I do this, Control Alt C, concordance for patrimoine, well, it seems to work here. Maybe ask Antonella when was the last time she upgraded or updated her Wordfast Classic.
Okay, let me see if Antonella wants to talk to you. Antonella, you feel like speaking? You can ask
Hi.
your question. Nice.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Well, I'm almost ashamed to say it, but I'm using version 8.9.1.
Yeah. Okay. Those were the days where there were bugs. But is there any reason why you don't upgrade? Maybe you had a difficulty to upgrade, or it didn't work anymore?
No,
or...
I told you, I'm just afraid because at the moment everything works well, and I think if I get a new version of the Mac OS organization system or a new version of Wordfast Classic, I'm worried that they won't work anymore so well like now.
Okay, so the thing is, you go to the folder where you have Wordfast. It's called Wordfast dot, and you make a backup of it, the old one. Like you rename it Wordfast dot back, so that it's not erased by the new one, and then you upgrade. Okay, and then you give it a go, and if your concordance doesn't work or these kind of things, then you have a way back. But normally, see, for the last 3 years there was no new features. It's only bug fixes one after the next, so that the version you have now, the public version now is very fast. As you can see, I do a concordance for a word which happens a lot, and it's instant and it works okay. You know, my strong advice is to upgrade with a way back if you need, and just hit the hotline if anything goes wrong.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for all your work on Wordfast.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Antonella. Elk? I don't know. No, Els. I don't know how to pronounce your name.
Elke.
Els. E-L-S. Decker. When I clean translated document, I get an additional space before squares and a quotation mark at the beginning of a paragraph or after a tab. Sorry, I'm reading so bad. Is that a Wordfast problem or a Word problem? Did you understand?
You get an additional quotation mark? What do you mean?
Yeah, I get an additional space before squares and quotation marks at the beginning of a paragraph or after a tab.
Wow.
I will enable
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
my
Okay. Well, let me see. I'm going to get to here. Maybe it's is that in the
L. You can speak
in the
if you
chat?
want to clarify.
D'accord. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, when I translate a document and then I'm going to clean it. And every time when I do it, whether it's my document or from my colleague, I get an additional space when there are squares in the
Squares.
text.
But what is a square? A square is what?
Des
Square.
crochets, mais des crochets rectangulaires.
Okay, this kind of things. Is that what you mean, like a square? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
This?
Those.
I don't see
This,
one.
right? There's a space. There's an added space, right? But what are those squares? Are they in the source text?
Yes, and in the target text as well.
Yes, they are at the end or the beginning, like they are
at the beginning
like
of a
this.
line.
Yeah. And
quotations marks as well, and then there's a space too much before them while I didn't type it.
Here. Yeah. So there's a feature in Microsoft Word which is dependent on the target language, which will automatically place a space after quotation marks, depending on whether you. So you have to check that. Maybe I don't know if it's where is it? Is it review? Compare. Where is it? It's autocorrect. It's called autocorrect.
Okay.
Where is autocorrect? Design, draw, insert. No, nothing is here. Review. Nice. I think it's part of the review. Like in my case, look. So it's not on. No, but normally there should be a space like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's off. See, normally if I write French, but the text is not marked as review language, set proofing language to French. So see, I just press this and I get this. If I do this, hello, you see, this is a space, but it's automatically inserted. So let me try with this. No, it's not there, but it's definitely put around the quotes, whatever they are, like, and that's autocorrect. So I have no idea. So if you file, I know home, it's a home. Okay, home. Okay, now does it look like? See, there's a space here, which looks like any other space because I don't ask to see all, to this icon here is to see the line breaks and the non-breaking spaces and the tabs. But here, if I say quote Yves, then there is going to be this. If I type quote and Yves, there's going to be, and it's everywhere. If I type this, there's going to be also a space, and that's done by Microsoft Word.
Okay.
But could it be a Microsoft? I mean, Wordfast Classic. Make sure you are on Classic 9.
Yes,
Point,
9,
at
11.
least. Okay, then it should be all right. And then when you do tools and a cleanup, that's where it happens, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. But if it's not too much asking, you can send me one of the documents where it happens after you cleaned up, and I'll take a look because.
Okay.
And
thank you.
What's your target language?
Sometimes it's French and sometimes it's Dutch.
Okay. Okay. And it happens with Dutch, right?
Yes, but with French also. Yes, both.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
What you can do, actually, what you can send me is not send me excuse me a segmented document. Then I'm going to clean it up here, and I will see if those spaces come. And then if they come, I can dig deep and find what the bug is. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think, Martin, do you want to ask more questions? I will enable you, Martin. Where's Martin? Yes, here. There you go, Martin.
Great, thank you. I had a question, but the one that's just been mentioned, I've experienced as well. I work from German to English most of the time, and I find if I have exactly the same thing, if a paragraph starts with a quote mark or with a square bracket, when I clean up, I will get a phantom space before the quote mark or before the square bracket at the start of the paragraph. So simply every time I clean up now, part of my routine is to go search Control P space, replace Control P, and that deals with it over any instance that happened to occur. So the space comes before the quote mark, not after.
Doing a very quick test now. Very, very quick. But I believe you.
It's usually not the first line in a document. It's usually after a hard return.
Okay. So there should be like you have a space which comes up
before the quote mark,
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks like that exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You have a space here. Oops. Just in case, get to upgrade to 9.13 and let me know. Yeah.
Yeah, I will do the upgrade and find out. The question I was originally going to ask though was about glossaries, because I used for a very long time. I kept using version 5 point something or other until about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that had drop-down menus for all 3 glossaries, and you could consult glossaries on the fly while you were working. That seems to be long gone now, but I really miss it. It was a really, really handy feature.
Wait a minute. Let me see. Glossary under toolbar.
I've tried enabling that, but it seems to merge everything into one. I can't seem to separate individual glossaries.
So I've got the glossary number 1 here, which is under the toolbar. Let me try again. You have how many glossaries you have? 3?
I usually have three running.
Wow. Okay. Do I have 3? 2? I've got 2, so I'll try with 2. Okay. But if it works with 2, it's going to work with 3.
Sure. Yeah.
No, there's only one. You can have only one. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Let me see, but I think, yeah, you only have one glossary. Yeah. So yeah, this, okay, it's been downgraded to showing one glossary. So yeah, if you have a preferred glossary, that's it.
Yeah.
Or make a
Is
very
it
large
possible
one with everything
is it possible
inside.
to restore it or not?
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah. Then one thing that you didn't have on 5, not sure if it's here. See, it's here. So you see that if you have your terms highlighted here,
Yeah.
patrimoine, tradition, they are also here. They are
How do you do
listed
that?
on the side. I show you the manual. Actually, when the segment is closed, it's closed now. You do Control Alt and you hit G for glossary twice, very fast. It's going to open the window that you see on the left.
Ah, okay.
And if you do it again, see at the top here, terminology,
Yeah.
twice Control Alt G,
Yeah.
but you have to do this when the segment is closed.
Cool.
So
Okay.
here I close.
That's only for the one
Here
glossary.
I open, and it's here. And every time I open a segment, it's going to tell me. But you can see if you have notes or comments in the glossary, they are also there. So that's nice.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's helpful. Yeah.
But then you need a big screen.
Yeah, I don't work on a laptop if I can avoid it.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Okay. So no chance of restoring access to 3 glossaries?
The problem is that it makes the toolbar huge. You have 3 lines, 3 glossaries, 3 drops down, 3 drop downs there. I could do that. It's not difficult, in fact. In fact, I was going to downgrade to only 2 glossaries. See.
Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Take that into. Okay. I
Thanks for that.
think thank you for your question, for your support, everybody, to stay here until the end. Well, I hope we can see you for the next webinar. It's not going to be about Classic, but it's going to be about Wordfast Anywhere. That I think you should, if you didn't try, you should have to see it, because it has many new features, has evolved a lot. I highly recommend it. So thank you, Yves, very much for your presentation.
You're welcome.
If you guys are going to Boston for the ATA conference next month, we will meet you there. You can meet all the team and ask all your questions, or go with your laptop and see all your problems in person, also with Eva. So this is all. I say goodbye here too. You can stop sharing your screen, and see you next time. Please follow on your social media and follow our latest news about Wordfast. I hope to see you soon. Bye. Thank you.